Shock City Studios, and you're watching iRepSTL.com. Well, you know, our vision for wanting to have this studio here was basically we wanted to have, first of all, have a place where local artists could come and do quality industry recordings, and also keep, you know, major label artists that were in this area from going to LA, New York, Atlanta to record, that they could stay right here and do the same quality work. But also to kind of jumpstart like this, you know, music like mecca of artists that were kind of trying to take it to that next level. You know, everything we thought about when, you know, from designing the studio and going to talk with, you know, the designers and the architects, was we wanted to do everything next level. I mean, even some of the ideas that, you know, that we had, they were like, you guys are crazy. You know, why would you want to, you know, put a patch bay in the bathroom?
Yeah. Hey. Hey, G Wiz, man, tell them what it is.
I started out with, you know, doing an internship with Polygram Group Distribution, where I was an intern for Motown and Def Jam Records. That was back in the day. Head Crack from the Ricky Smiley morning show. We were interns together. After that, worked at a recording studio, Soul Kitchen Recording Studios in Jackson, Mississippi, for about 8 months, and then got a call from Warner Music Group. Let's see, I worked with Twista, worked with T.I., worked with Jaheim, I've worked with Craig David. On the pop side, Jason Mraz, Linkin Park. Those are some of the names that pop out to me, because those are some really memorable, you know, artists. You know, to see them from the ground floor when they're just coming out. Because I usually work with projects of artists that were pretty much just starting out on that label. Like if they were newly signed to Atlantic, like T.I. was, or whatever. So it was like his first Atlantic project, you know, when he first brought Grand Hustle to Atlantic. And, you know, same thing with Jason Mraz. His first record, you know, started out doing the, you know, from the Elvis Room to the Duck Room to the Pageant to, you know, Riverport, you know. As a producer, I've locally, I've worked with Chocolate Tie from Dirty ENT. I've worked with Ebony Eyes. I've worked with Penelope Jones. I've worked with Jenna. I've worked with Raw Reese. As an artist, I'm in a band called John Doe, and it is kind of a fusion band of, you know, fusion of hip hop, R&B, rock, pop, reggae, you know, there's all these different genres put together. It's gonna be something that that I think is gonna really change how people perceive urban artists. Sometimes people think, you know, if you're a black artist, that you can only do this. You can only be a rapper, or you can only be an R&B singer. Right now we're in the process of recording our first record. Coming from Louisiana, my thought was that I was going to come to St. Louis and it was going to be this huge independent music scene here, just like in New Orleans, or just like in Atlanta or Houston, you know, those places down south, where you walk into a record store and, you know, you'd be lucky if you saw a national artist, you know, poster display up on the wall. It was nothing. It was all, you know, local artists pretty much ran the city. You know, you turn on the radio, you're going to hear what that city sounds like. And when I got to St. Louis, it was kind of like, it wasn't really like that. It was like, wow, where are the local artists on the radio, or where, you know. So that concerned me, and immediately I was like, okay, what can I do, you know, to, you know, help, jumpstart, local artists taking things, to that next level. I think that more artists have to start to, work together. People, checking their egos at the door and wanting to work together and wanting to use synergy in order to, bring the awareness of this city and what it has to offer, to, the national, forefront. The DJs with the artists, kind of knowing that their future is in each other's hands. And then, other labels and, local labels starting to work together. And, nowadays you really don't need to be signed to a major. So I think that that the Lou definitely can, do it on their own. Just it's going to take that that one, centralized unit of people to get together and say, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this together.
From the moment you looked at me, I knew you would be my happy hour. Girl, have a martini or a Hennessy.
Hey, I'm Chris Loesch. I'm one of the co-owners here at Shock City Studios, a portion of Shock City Music Group. I'm giving a shout out to iRepSTL. So if you're an independent artist, producer, aspiring artist, you can come to Shock City. You don't have to be scared. A couple of the big pluses: you work with the same engineer in the same exact studio with the same attention to detail that people like Yo Gotti have worked with when they created Women Lie, Men Lie, the big Gotti Lil Wayne record. That's our engineer Tony. We are available to you. We can accomplish more in a smaller amount of time because the sounds are good from the get-go, and you have a guy that really knows what he's doing handling your stuff.
She said her name is April, who claims she worked for Channel 2. Eyes light but mind heavy, sipping slow and conversating. Told about my day job, cause rappers sometimes push him off. Hoping that she feel this guy so I could be in her fave 5.
From the moment you looked at me, I knew you would be